So today we're going to be talking about a build that I think a lot of you new and returning players will probably love to have. And even some of you veteran players who haven't really taken advantage of this build might be sleeping on it. Now, I've always said that skill builds, skill hybrid builds are always the best for farming. I feel like if you're looking for a build to help you farm content, do it relaxing, sitting back, letting the skills do a lot of the work, and then even having your AR be able to put out enough damage to help those skills, well, that's an amazing build, right? So in this video, I'll be breaking down a build that I think a lot of you guys will 100% enjoy. And not only because it's a fun build to play, but it's great for solo and team players. So what we'll do right now, let's dive into the build, and I'll also show you some more gameplay as we go along. So the first thing you guys need to make sure you guys are using is the Technician class. And the reason why is because this is going to give us 10% skill damage, plus it gives us 1 skill tier, allowing us to spec into only 5 yellows and still hitting skill tier 6. That allows us to spec into 1 blue, pushing us to around 913,000 armor, which is great for skill builds. Now you already see the weapon we're using is a capacitor, and the reason why is because of the talent on this thing. Not only does it come with assault rifle damage, damage to armor, and health damage, but it also comes with a talent which reads, shooting enemy builds stacks of a cap up to 40. Each stack grants 1.5% skill damage. After 5 seconds, these stacks do decay, but as long as you're hitting those shots, you'll be perfectly fine. And then for every skill tier you have, you gain 7.5% weapon damage. Now you add that on top of the weapon damage already on this 77,000, and you can see why this weapon does pretty good damage. And then since we are putting a little bit of crit chance and crit damage, you'll see that that also helps the damage we put out. Now for the build, let's start off with the mask. So we are running a 3-piece Empress International. Now this gives us 10% skill health, 10% skill damage, and then 10% skill efficiency. Now we do have 1 skill tier on here, 12% critical hit damage, 10% skill damage, and 6% critical hit chance. Now for the chest, we have the Wyvern chest. This gives us 10% skill damage. Now we have 1 skill tier on here. We have 5.9% headshot damage, which I would rather have critical hit damage there. We have 10% skill damage, and then we have a 6% critical hit chance mod. Now this is still one of my favorite skill build talents to run, kinetic momentum. When in combat, each skill generates a stack while active and not on cooldown. So stacks increase your total skill damage. And that's why this is really good. This talent right here, definitely probably one of my favorite talents to run on all of my skill builds. It hits hard, and you don't have to worry about the incoming damage that you get from glass cannon. Now for the holster, this is going to be one of the pieces that might take you a little bit to farm, but when you do farm it, you're going to love it. Waveform. Now why this is so good, it gives you skill tier, skill damage, skill haste, but the talent is what really makes it impressive. Generate a stack of 3% skill damage on one of your skills every second, capping at 10 stacks, so that's 30% skill damage. After 10 seconds at the cap, the stacks transfer. So you have 10 seconds of that 30% skill damage, and then transfers to the other skill, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that's why it's amazing. That means each one of your skill at some point will have 30% extra skill damage on it. Now for the knee pads, this is our second piece of Empress International. This has 1 skill tier. We have crit damage and crit chance. Now ideally you could get rid of the crit chance and put skill damage there, but I did want to stack a little bit more crit chance on the build to get us to around that 50% crit chance cap, and you'll see those numbers in a second. But yeah, so that's why I went with that. But if you want a little bit more skill damage, you can definitely add another skill damage roll on here. So now this piece right here is all because of the specialization, the Technician class. This allows me to roll armor on here. You can see I have armor on here. But then also because I had a piece that had no brand set that was going to give me extra skill damage, so I was able to put a Fenrir's piece on here and give me 10% assault rifle damage for the capacitor. So we have armor on here, we have skill damage, and then we have crit hit chance. And then we finally get into my backpack talent. This is the 3rd piece of Empress International that gives me that 10% skill efficiency. We have plus 1 skill tier. We have skill damage, skill haste on here, and then critical hit chance. Now, we also have, if you look, tech support. So this is probably one of my favorite talents to run on skill damage builds, because a lot of times your skills are going to get those kills, and it's a free 25% skill damage for 20 seconds, and you just sit back. Like if you don't even feel like shooting anymore, tech support's still going to be going off, and it's still going to be active along with kinetic momentum, and then of course with the waveform holster. So all that will be active even if I didn't want to take 1 shot. So that's what's cool about tech support. I really like it. It makes skill builds fun, relaxing, and just being able to sit back. So for the skills, we're running the turret. So the turret's gonna give us around 123,000 damage. Remember, this is without any of the buffs being active. So 123,000 damage without waveform, without kinetic momentum, or without even the capacitor at full stacks. Now we also have the striker drone, which is at 78,000. You have to remember, this is also without any of the buffs. So if we look at the stats, you can already see that we're at 49% critical hit chance, almost 50%, almost 100% critical hit damage, 80% headshot damage, 10% armor damage, and 9% health damage. Now this weapon, remember, it's at 77,000 damage, and that's without the capacitors buff that does not show on here. So once we're with those 6 yellows, we're gonna be hitting even harder. And that's why I love this. And as you guys are seeing in this gameplay, it just absolutely wrecks. And the great thing about it is you don't even have to do any damage with your weapon because your skills are gonna be doing all the damage. Most of the time, you're just building that 40 stack. As soon as you have that 40 stack, your turret, your drone will be doing a lot of the work, and you can just sit behind cover. Look, I have no meg hits right now, but I'm not worried. I know my drone's about to come back. Look at that. Got no health either. I pop up my assault striker, my striker drone. I let my assault turret put in that work, and it absolutely just destroys everything. They take out all the enemies for me. I didn't have to do anything. And that's what I'm telling you guys. You guys will definitely enjoy this build. You'll have a lot of fun playing with it. And if you guys want to tweak it to have a little bit more skill damage or have a little bit more skill haste and have less crit chance or have less crit damage, you can do that. You guys can spec this, tweak it however you want. Remember, these are just templates for you guys to see that this is a build that I use to farm, and it works really good. I don't have trouble with almost any content in the game, whether solo or in group play. I never have issues, and it allows me to get better gear, just like this Ridgeway Pride chest piece. Like, it allows me to farm better gear fast, easy, and efficient. So if you guys have any questions on the build, let me know in the comment section. I'm always here to help out. And if you guys have any suggestions, how would you tweak the build? Let me know. If you guys just like going straight skill damage, skill haste, and just letting your skills do everything, let me know. Or do you like adding a little bit of crit chance, crit damage on these skill builds that allow you to hit a little bit harder and actually be efficient with your weapon? Let me know how you guys run it in the comment section. Let me know if you guys have tried this build or if you guys are going to try it. I will see you guys soon. We will be live hopefully today or tomorrow. Maybe when you guys are watching this, definitely stop over at Twitch, twitch.tv/nothingbutskills to catch me live. We are working on a hardcore character to hopefully do that hardcore raid. But until then, you know what time it is. Nothing But Skills is out.